Good morning, class. Today we are going to review a problem like the one we had last week. Some of us had a little bit of difficulty solving the problem, so we're going to review some processes that will help us more easily understand how to solve word problems using fractions. We are going to use the processes of partitioning and iteration. First, let's look at the problem. John bikes 1/4 of a mile to and from work each day. Write an expression that can be used to find the total number of miles that John bikes to and from work over 5 days. Then evaluate the expression. Let's now look at what the problem is asking us to do. I like to use my highlighter to highlight the things I am looking for. The problem is asking us to do two things. First, it is asking us to find the total of number of miles that John bikes to and from work over 5 days. Then it is asking us to evaluate or solve the expression. Let's highlight the two things that the problem is asking us to do. First, we highlight find the total number of miles, and then we highlight evaluate the expression. Those are the two things that the problem is asking us to do. Thumbs up if you're done highlighting those two things. Great. Now let's look at what we know. I like to use a different highlighter to show what the word problem is telling us. We know that John bikes 1/4 of a mile each day to and from work. Let's highlight that. We also know that John does this for 5 days. Thumbs up if you're done highlighting those two things. That's great. So let's begin with the first statement. John bikes 1/4 of a mile each day. This statement tells us that for every 1 mile, John bikes 1/4 of a mile. Let's show what this would look like with our fraction tiles. We will start with 1 mile. And then partition them into 4 pieces. We know that we should partition into 4 pieces because the fraction 1/4. The denominator tells us that there are 4 parts to every mile. Perfect. Raise your hand if there's any question so far. All right, so it looks like you're with me. Now, as you can see, we have partitioned the mile into 4 pieces. Let's look at the problem to remind us what we are looking for. The problem tells us that John bikes 1/4 of a mile. That means we need to take away enough tiles to leave 1 of the 4, or 1/4 of the mile. Thumbs up if you're with me so far. That's great, so let's continue. Well, you're not done yet, you see, because we know from the word problem that John does this each day for 5 days. Can someone tell me what we should be doing next? So you're right, we need to represent 5 days. Our tile only represents 1 day. To do this, we need to repeat this for each of the 5 days. Now we can again start with the 4 and then take away the 3 because we know that John does this 1/4 or 1/4 of a mile each day, not the entire mile. Let's repeat this for the 5 days. So for every 1 day, John bikes 1/4 of a mile. And he does this over 5 days. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. Does anyone's tiles not look like mine? Can anyone tell me at this point what expression can be used to show that John bikes 1/4 of a mile for 5 days? That's correct. John bikes 1/4 of a mile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So our expression is 5 times 1/4. Because as we said, he bikes 1/4 of a mile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It looks like everybody understands, so let's continue. At this point, we've officially solved the first part of the world problem. We have created an expression. Next thing we need to do is evaluate or solve the expression. Can someone tell me how we should solve this? Wow, that's correct. You can take your 5, put it over 1, and multiply it by 1/4. So the first thing we do is we multiply the numerators. 5 times 1 is 5, and 4 times 1 is 4. It looks like we've ended up with a mixed number. Because 5/4 is a mixed number, we need to convert this to a whole number and a fraction. So we look at this, and 5 divided by 4, 4 goes into 5 one time. So you get 1, and there's 1 left over. So 1 1/4 is our answer. So the answer is John bikes 1 1/4 mile in 5 days. Can someone else tell me if there's another way to solve this problem? That is correct. We can count or iterate the number of fourths shown by our fraction tiles and then add them together. Because as we know, multiplication is just repeated addition. So we can use iteration to solve this problem. To do that, we need to write 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. So we can do it this way. Because as you can see, we have written 1/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones over fourths. And again, we just need to convert that to a mixed number. I'm sorry, that mixed number into a whole number and a fraction. So that will give us 1 1/4 as we had gotten above. I hope this clears up any confusion that you may have had, and please let me know if you guys have any questions. Have a great day.